Highly disciplined people don't actually have more willpower than you. They just have fewer choices to make. A lot of what looks like discipline from the outside is actually just small points of friction being handled by systems, so they don't keep becoming your problem later. If you're constantly exhausted by daily decisions, clutter, or unfinished goals, the fix isn't more willpower. It's friction management. These are 6 everyday German habits that use hidden systems to eliminate the invisible chaos draining your days. 1. Improve the conditions around you. Germans have a particular way of airing out a room using shock ventilation. Instead of leaving a window slightly tilted open for hours, they open every window in the room completely wide for 5 to 10 minutes, completely replacing the stale indoor air with fresh outdoor air, then shut them tight. Opening the windows fully replaces stale air in a way that leaving them slightly cracked doesn't, quickly flushing out built-up carbon dioxide and indoor pollutants that silently build up. Studies show that people think and perform better in well-ventilated rooms. You might feel tired, foggy, irritable, or unable to concentrate and interpret that as a problem with you. You assume you need coffee, motivation, better discipline, or a more productive attitude. But sometimes your brain is working inside stale air, harsh light, the wrong temperature, or constant background noise. Before assuming you need more energy or discipline, check whether your environment is quietly making everything harder. 2. Give ordinary decisions a default. Germans have a traditional evening meal which literally translates to evening bread. It is a simple, predictable spread of high-quality bread, cheeses, cold cuts, and pickles. There is no cooking, minimal cleanup, and zero debate about what to make. A surprising amount of daily exhaustion comes from treating every recurring decision like it deserves an original solution. We treat every meal, every outfit, and every daily routine as a creative choice. But decision fatigue is cumulative. Your brain becomes exhausted from making seemingly mundane choices all day, every day. You solve one decision tonight, and tomorrow it arrives again pretending to be new. A default choice removes the constant pressure to invent everything from scratch, freeing up mental bandwidth. People sometimes resist defaults because they sound restrictive, but a real default does not remove variety from your life. It makes variety optional rather than compulsory. The broader rule is, save time and energy by giving repeating decisions a default. 3. Send everything home immediately. The German recycling and bottle return system is legendary for its complexity, but it works because of a simple rule. Items are categorized the exact moment they are discarded. Paper, plastic, glass, and organic waste never mix. There is no stage where everything goes into one bag and gets untangled at some point in the future. The sorting happens at the moment of disposal. This means that the moment something leaves your hand, a decision is made about where it belongs. A surprising amount of clutter is made up of objects waiting for a decision. Mail sits on the counter because some of it needs filing, some recycling, and some action. Clothes land on a chair because they are not clean enough for the closet or dirty enough for the hamper. Digital files pile up in downloads because no destination was chosen when they were saved. Without an already decided category or home, an object becomes a question, and when the answer is postponed, the question becomes clutter. Clutter is just a mound of decisions not made, saved up, and handed to a version of you who has less context and no interest. You end up paying twice, once when you first handle the thing, and again when you finally sort it. Give recurring things a clear destination and put them there the first time you put them down. 4. Without concrete plans, goals are just intrusive thoughts. In Germany, plans are rarely left ambiguous. A casual, "we should hang out sometime," quickly gets pinned down to a specific date, time, and location. Researchers have found unfinished goals can produce intrusive thoughts and interfere with unrelated tasks. But when people made specific plans for completing those goals, much of that cognitive interference disappeared, even though the goals themselves had not yet been completed. Research also shows that goals that have specifics of when and where they'll happen get acted on substantially more often than intentions that stay general. Setting aside specific times for vague tasks and plans like paperwork, phone calls, hobbies, and get-togethers helps keep them from becoming mental weight and makes them more likely to get done. Give goals a place and time to make them more doable. 5. Remove the burden of guessing. German communication is famously direct. Feedback, requests, and boundaries are delivered clearly, without layers of polite padding or passive-aggressive hints. That directness can sometimes feel blunt, but the useful version is not about saying whatever you want without considering anyone else. It is about giving the other person enough information to not be confused. People often try to be polite by leaving the most important part of a message unsaid. Friday might be a little difficult can mean, I am not coming. That is an interesting direction can mean, I do not think we should do it. I'll see what I can do can mean anything from a sincere promise to a complete refusal. The speaker avoids a brief uncomfortable moment, but the discomfort does not disappear. It is transferred to the listener, who now has to interpret the tone, search for hidden meaning, follow up, and wonder whether a decision has actually been made. Unclear communication turns one conversation into several. The kindest communication is one a person can act on. I can't do Friday. I can do Monday. The first section needs revision. The rest is fine. Say enough of the truth now that nobody has to keep decoding it later. 6. Protect rest with firm boundaries. In Germany, rest is built into the structure of the day and the week. The end of the workday is treated as a hard stop. Work is left at work, and the hours afterward are understood as personal time, rather than an opportunity to keep squeezing in a few more tasks. There is also a larger weekly boundary. On Sundays, most stores are closed. Noisy tasks like drilling or lawn mowing are restricted, and the day is traditionally protected from the usual cycle of shopping, errands, and productivity. Modern work has no natural endpoint. There is always one more email to answer, one more task to prepare for tomorrow, or one more chore in the house. But if you wait until your to-do list is completely empty to rest, you will never rest. Research shows that what restores people isn't only time away from work, but psychological detachment from it. Mental detachment doesn't happen unless there is a boundary drawn. That means giving work a clear closing ritual and putting hard, uncompromising edges around personal time so that no tasks find their way in. Don't let rest be whatever is left at the end of a list that constantly regenerates. Create rest by deciding where work is required to stop. German habits can sometimes look rigid from the outside, but underneath many of them is a practical understanding of how much time and energy get lost when ordinary things remain unresolved. There's a German proverb often used to poke fun at their love of structure. Order is half of life. But we usually misunderstand the point. The goal isn't to become a rigid robot. The point is to automate the boring half of life, the endless debates over dinner, the mounting piles of clutter, the decoding of unclear texts, so you actually have the energy to enjoy the other half. Structure doesn't restrict your freedom. It buys it.